Anthony Romano here alongside Vinny Micucci for Sportscaster101.com, giving you a preview of the 2012 season for the AL Central. Vinny, the number one story coming out of the Central this year is definitely the Tigers signing of first baseman Prince Fielder. How do you think that's going to impact their year?
Well, it really just goes to show how unpredictable an offseason could be and any trade rumors that you hear, because who had Prince Fielder and the Detroit Tigers being a match? Not many people, Anthony. And I know that ultimately Prince Fielder being in Detroit is going to create a big stir. One, we're going to see that video that we've seen for years now of Prince hitting balls out of Tiger Stadium as a kid. Now the question is, how many will he hit out of Comerica Park as a member of the club? He drastically improves that lineup, and he certainly puts an impact within that division.
Absolutely, and you know the Tigers, their rotation can compete with anybody. Justin Verlander had the year of his life last year, winning the AL MVP. So let's see if he can bounce back, and obviously they're going to be the favorites heading into the playoffs this year. You take a look at the Minnesota Twins, though, who were kind of the opposite end of the division last year. They're really looking forward to turning around this year and getting back on the right track and back into the playoffs. I mean, they have to have catcher Joe Mauer have a bounce-back year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's really what makes the team go, whatever he does, not just really at bat, but also how he controls the pitching staff. They need him healthy. They need him there for the whole year. We saw what kind of a difference Target Field meant to this ball club, and really from going here on out, what it'll do for this club. But count on Ron Gardenhire to really be able to fix this team whenever need be. He's always made the adjustments when he's lost players in the offseason. So I think last year was more of a hiccup than it was the norm for this Twins team. Should they win the division? That I'm not so sure, but I expect a better team than last year.
Well, you also talk about other disappointing teams in the Central. You got to mention the Chicago White Sox. A lot of people had a lot of expectations for them last year, signing Adam Dunn. He was supposed to be a big part of their team. Didn't exactly pan out. They lost their manager, Ozzie Guillen, who kind of provided the spark for that team. What do they have to do to get back on track? Oh,
well, certainly Ozzie Guillen not being with the club anymore is a big factor, because he takes a lot of the attention away from the players and allows them to go out and freely play baseball. It's a long season to be able to do that. But to get back on track, I'm not sure. I mean, right now the horses are not there. So who develops? Who stands out? The division allows for somebody to be a star. There is nobody really taking over outside of Justin Verlander, as we mentioned earlier. There's nobody taking over the division. So I look at it and say that this team can find somebody. We're just not quite sure who yet, and that's going to come out throughout spring training, throughout the season, and more.
Vinny, I mean, the White Sox rotation, I'm not really sure who's going to step out and be the ace. They lose Mark Buehrle to Miami. I'm not really sure who's there to step up and provide that leadership that they had in the past.
No, absolutely. And also the other thing you have to think about too is if the offense is not the same, they really can't pick up one or the other. The offense is not going to pick up the pitching staff all that much. You mentioned Adam Dunn and really what he brought to the table. You're already starting to get to a little bit older of a player now. You're getting to the point where this club needs to have somebody step up that maybe we don't know about just yet. We've seen a lot of that throughout sports over the last year or so. That's where I think the White Sox have to look.
All right, Vinny, do you have any final thoughts to give to the AL Central preview?
Well, certainly we'd love to be able to see a team like Cleveland or Kansas City step up a little more, as they haven't done in the past couple of years. I'd love to see it. I just don't know if it's really going to happen. This division right now seems to be fairly lopsided for the teams at the top and the teams at the bottom. There's really no middle ground right now. So the good thing is maybe it's anyone's guess. The bad thing is I think that this is the division in the American League that does not get the wild card.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I think the Tigers kind of have this one wrapped up. I think Prince just gives them an even more of an advantage than they already had. I think they're going back to the playoffs again this year. From Vinny Micucci, my name is Anthony Romano, covering the AL Central for Sportscaster101.com.